So it's fair to say then, Lewis, that a marriage is based on love, and love is not based on feelings, but love is an action, it's a verb. And therefore, it's through the knowledge of what love is. And it's when we have that knowledge that we can really understand how God designed marriage to be, when we really understand love. So when you're loving your partner, it's like in relationships, as in anything else, knowledge is the key to success. Ignorance, of course, is very dangerous, and many people go into marriage with not knowing. So whether we're talking about marriage or about less formal or less intimate arrangements, lack of knowledge is the fundamental and most frequent cause of failed relationships.
Well, conflict and tension arise in relationships most often because men and women simply don't understand each other.
Yeah.
They fail to allow for the fact that males and females not only think and act differently from each other, but also perceive their environment in different ways. Much of the misunderstanding is because of mistaken assumptions. Males and females are equal in humanity and personality, but they don't have the same needs.
Yeah. As a spiritual being, we're created in the image of God. Men and women are indeed equal. And we're equal as distinct persons. They are equal in finding complete spiritual fulfillment in relationship with God, and equal in authority and dominion over the earthly realm. As human beings with male and female bodies, however, our needs are distinctly different. And this diversity of needs arises from their differences in how we are designed and how we are to function.
How we function, that's right.
Yeah. So let's talk about even on the giving and the receiving, just how men are created to be the giver and the woman the receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And, not that women can't be the giver as well, but when you understand that even how we were created to function sexually, the male is the giver, the woman is the receiver. And that's not saying that women will never be a giver in a relationship, but if we understand the headship of that relationship where the male's role.
That's right. I remember a lot of our problems, in our intimacy were created because I was waiting for Penny to initiate, feeling that she had to make the first step or, initiate that intimacy. Well, really the women are waiting for us men to initiate that.
And not that the woman can't ever initiate it, but a woman's environment or the surrounding has to be correct, because we're not just worked on while demanding sex. So, like, in other words, a male demands, well, a female reacts, she doesn't respond, whereas you want us to respond, not react. And when a male gives, then the female will respond.
Yeah. When a male commits, a female submits.
For sure.
Nothing is more precious to a female than a committed male. Nothing's more depressing to a female than an uncommitted male.
For sure.
But here's the secret, guys. If you want a submitted female, be a committed male. It's that simple. I always tell people that I introduce my wife, Penny, as my queen. And, what you don't understand is if she's the queen and I'm married to her, then automatically makes me a king.
Yeah. Well, and let's look at that too with the giving and receiving is when a male abuses, the woman right away refuses. Whether a man abuses a woman, she refuses to respond.
Mm-hmm. When a male shares, a female cares. If you find a man who's willing to share with the woman in his life, you'll find a woman who's willing to care for her man.
Yeah, and when a male leads, the female follows. When a man carries out his God-given responsibility for leadership, then it's very easy for women to respond by following his lead.
That's right.
What happens today is we have so many men that are out of order with their headship and leadership. It's not about demanding and expecting women to do this and doing that, but it's all about each one of us being married and realizing that we're now serving the other one and trying to meet the needs of the other person.
In the Bible, there are some really good examples of good leaders who led by example, not by stature or decree. Jesus led by example, and so did Moses. Others like Peter and Paul. These great leaders in the Bible were leading by example. It means doing ourselves the things we wish others would do.
Yeah, Lewis, when we really got that as givers and receivers, as understanding our roles and started to apply it, then the love, you do it out of what the Word of God says, and the next thing you know, the love for each other grew. Because your love can't grow based on me expecting you to make me feel good, and vice versa.
Yeah, that's right. It's a choice. Love is a choice. We made the commitment years ago when we married, and it took us a while for us to grow into that relationship, trying to find, our roles, our just the positions we should be taking. And one of the things, it really bears down on is that we had lack of knowledge. We didn't have good mentorship, even though, we belonged to a church and we had friends and family. We were looking at, choices other people were making that we thought was good or not so good, and we were basing our relationship on that. And that was really difficult because you could never have that true north or somewhere that you could point that this is the right way. And friends, the right way is the biblical understanding of how we are actually made up and how we are supposed to function.
Yeah, I think we need to remember then that it's really important that we understand how the needs work in people's lives, so in each other's lives. And first of all, needs control and motivate behavior. So if people are lacking something that they really need, so if the woman's lacking love, as in the
Physical?
Not just even the physical, but just the attention and everything, then a man is going to be lacking his sexual need. And it's a need. Like women, you have to understand a man needs sex more so than a woman. And the need needs to be met. And if we don't meet the needs, we're going to be going elsewhere, outside of the marriage probably, to meet that.
Well, one of the things that I tell young men especially is that if you unleash that sexual desire at an early age, when you release it, then you're going to basically do everything to get it. And I'm not talking about a perverted way, but we are made up that way, that we desire that, and it was really for procreation. That's what God did that for. But the devil's perverted that, and the world's made perversion of sexual intimacy okay in so many different levels. So we really want to bring it back, but understanding that everything we do in our day-to-day lives is because of needs in our life.
I think we could sum it up, Lewis, with saying that love is making a commitment to meet the needs of the other person. And, we are not going to be fulfilled as people until our needs are met. Because when you have a need, then that's the most important thing that in your life that really matters. And our full attention and everything we do will be focused on meeting that need. So what we need to do is put the attention and the focus on our partner, meet their needs, and watch your marriage become working in harmony.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, if I understand your needs, understand how you function, and I just fulfill that, then my needs are going to be met as well.
Are we froze? Are we good?